Even hour. To this use is something you can be and you can let it hurt you very much, which I did for years, or you can take it at face value and see it for the childishness it is. Kinds of verbal abuse I'd like to treat here are things are like you're an idiot, you're an asshole, you're a moron, you always think about yourself, you always know better. You think you think you are smart, you think you are wise, you think you are something. Who the hell do you think you are? These kinds of remarks are forms of verbal abuse. Abuse mentioned deny the responsibility of what you said just before. So let's look at these remarks and look at what we can do about it. What you can do is recognize that you're being verbally abused, and recognize that it is not your fault. The reason you're verbally abused is because the partner in the conversation refuses to take responsibility for what you just said. It is, in Dutch, we call that proefballing in comments. Um, One way to deal with this is by saying, "No, that doesn't bother me. You're an idiot. No, that doesn't bother me. You're you're an asshole. No, that doesn't bother me. You think you're always right. No, that doesn't bother me. Fact is, I am right. You always want to force your opinion upon me. No, that doesn't bother me. Because people accuse others for forcing their opinions when they tell the truth. This is a scare tactic and the scaremonger tactic in order to give a negative impulse to positive behavior. This is called manipulation. This is called gaslighting, even. So, what do you do with gaslighting? You make a joke of it. And the problem with verbal abuse of this kind is that you are not at fault. But if you respond to what they say, if you react to what they say, you're an idiot. No, I'm not. How do you have to think you are? Then you get fights. But if you skip the entire process of reacting and say, that's not my problem, you are diagnosing me wrong. And they will say, that's not true, you are. No, that's not my problem. And as long as you don't recognize that, we have a problem. So let them be, let them deal with that. The fact that you are not a moron, the fact you are not an idiot, the fact that you are not to blame for anything you just said, and the fact that you are not a criminal or a crazy one or a thief or a liar. Let them deal with that. And every kind of abuse they throw at you, just respond, that's not my problem. I don't know what your problem is by trying to stick something on me while I am not at fault, but that's not my problem. So you can discuss all day you like. You can become angry all day you like, but it's not my problem. You're a Satanist. I heard that one also. I'm a Lutheran, so but this requires self knowledge, and what you need to know is that you are not responsible for other people's responses. So what that means is what that means is stop believing their fucking lies. You are not what they tell you that they are. They tell you that you are bad because they don't understand the good. That's the problem in this world. That's how the world works. And this kind of abuse is very easily to put down by just saying, that's not my problem. I don't know what you're thinking, but that's not my problem. Who the hell do you think you are by even mentioning that? You don't really know me. And by confronting people with their stupidity, you get one on them and you get the point across. But this is not to win. This is to shield yourself against this kind of abuse. And this is very hard, and it takes a paradigm shift in my life even also, because my mother, when I was just a little kid, like this, she my entire life she called me a moron. My entire life I was a moron when I was right, and I let that affect me too much in my life. And I was a moron. I was an idiot. I was an imbecile. She said all kinds of horrible things to me when I was in the right. So now I realize that that is just a tactic to avoid responsibility. Well, the trick with that is it's not your responsibility to make others responsible for their behavior. That tactic doesn't work either. Now I'm talking about it. I realize that that is the problem with these guys. So it's not my responsibility to make other people responsible for their behaviors as long as it doesn't affect me. Although in the magic, people would argue against that because if you do not know about magic, natural law, or other things, you could be called asleep. So this is a problem I faced in my life. I really got annoyed and I felt attacked, and the energy went into rebuking and refuting these kinds of people. But these people are not interested in refutal. They are only interested in hurting you for telling the truth. Why they do it, I don't understand, but that's not my problem. So the only thing you can say is, that's not my problem. I don't know what you're thinking, but I don't have a problem with that. And what you do is you leave it at yourself, you leave it at your doorstep. You block their responses every time they say that. You just say, that's not my problem. And they can do two things. They can become angry or they can lose control because they are control freaks, people who say such things. They will lose control over you because they abused you for being in the right. And everybody will notice that by such kind of remarks. And then the game is flipped. So instead of you feeling attacked, horrible, and crying outside, you turn the tables and you make them feel lose control. And it's not funny when people bully you, but it's funny if you own the bully, if you pwn him. So let them take a taste of their own medicine. Wait, something going on. This is the podcast of this week. It's a small podcast, and I will write more podcasts in advance and will leave them later. So this is Simon of Solomon signing off. This was Battlefield Earth, Playground Earth, and thank you very much.